Welcome back, guys. It's Clark and it's Matt. We're here with episode 6 of the Chair Company recap pod.
That's right.
Matt, welcome back. How you feeling? It's been a little while since the episode 5, so good to see you. Good to be podding with you again.
Good to be here. If you are listening and you have waited this long to watch episode 6 to let us talk about it, you're as real as it gets.
Yeah.
Because we did take, I don't know, holidays and everything, but I loved episode 6. I'll just start there. And so I had a great day rewatching it and taking notes on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the first thing I wanted to say is it's nice to jump back into it. I haven't watched it since we've talked about it, so I'm as this is as new to me as it is to whoever's listening and watching for the first time.
Yeah.
I can do a quick episode 5 recap because it's been so long.
Yeah.
So episode 5 was a wild one. That so they have located the man that is on the Red Ball Media website. However, it is not an exec. It's actually just Oliver Problo. He's an aspiring actor. And he had those pictures taken at a Life of the Party class, which is, of course, a thing. And he can't remember who took the pictures, so they go back to Oliver's house, and they're trying to look on his iPad because he was emailing back and forth with this lady. Among other chaos, the iPad gets stolen. Ron has to chase after the coke-dealing iPad thief, and he gets knocked out again. And he wakes up in the hospital. And but finally, Oliver remembers the name of the photographer, and it's Maggie S. So that's what we're rolling into episode 6 with. Is we know that the people on this website are not who they are labeled as, but there's some other stuff going on.
Yeah, Ron's supposed lead, I guess, like 8, basically, for poor Ron
Right.
here. He's getting thrown, put through the ringer on
Yeah.
lead, fail, lead, fail, lead, fail.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite almost of like a Knives Out or a Sherlock Holmes, where they have like a million options and the puzzle is picking the right one. For Ron, it's like he only has one at a time and they all fall apart.
That is certainly that. Upon my rewatch, that's what I'm realizing more and more is, okay, they lean into one theory and take you along with it to its bitter
and tell
end.
his daughter about it.
Yeah, right. And that is the theory. That is the leading theory. And you kind of believe it as the viewer. You don't really have any other option.
Yeah.
And then you just see where it goes. So episode 6, we're going to find another one.
Yes.
So the opening of episode 6, we open on what I'm calling the hot shot retreat. This is the CEO Jeff and his rich buddies are drinking around a fire in Sedona and flexing their wealth and telling probably awesome stories. And
cool watches, cool tequila
cool
mezcal?
tequila, right? Yeah, some expensive stuff. And these guys are awesome. And it's
awesome.
like it's funny. I don't know, maybe there's not a huge crossover in Venn diagram, but there's probably someone watching who's like, they're making fun of me. Like, that's how me and my buddies hang out. Because that felt like, I don't know. I could see that being a group of dudes, and that's hilarious to me.
Are you trying to say that that's not us when we hang out? Is that?
Yeah, I could see that being us, and I want it to be us.
Aspirational.
Yeah. But so Jeff kind of gets challenged a little bit by his buddy and kind of maybe pokes fun at his job for not being legit because they're just building pretty little boxes to sell junk to people. And you can see this gets to Jeff. And so we go back to Ohio. Ron has tracked down this Life of the Party class, and he goes in and he's talking to the instructor. And he's asking if she knows anything about Maggie S. And she does not. And she talks about how we don't do the photo stuff on this level. You know, it might be some of the other levels. So we find out
and
there's levels.
I was curious. Yeah. Did you take that to be like a different level of the more life of the party you are, you're at a higher level, like a belt system in a martial art, or is that like levels of the building, like stories of the building?
Oh, I took it to mean there are different levels to the class system,
Yeah,
and this is
I think that's
they're
also
at
how
the
I took it.
lowest. Yeah,
Yeah, they're at the lowest.
they're not doing any kind of fun stuff. They're not taking headshots or taking pictures of stuff. Like these people are
Hmm.
frankly just antisocial,
They are just not
weirdos.
the life of the
Yeah,
party.
right.
Yeah.
They need bare bones stuff. So that that's on other levels that they're doing that kind of stuff. And today they have level 5. So group
Hmm.
of people walk in, and you can tell they're level 5, sort of life of the party people. Ron starts asking around, hey, do you guys know Maggie? Yes. He recognizes a few people from the online websites and such.
Impressive, like photographic memory ability there
He
from our
yeah,
guy
he
Ron.
really he's been studying those, so
Yeah.
definitely he's all over that. And then one of the gentlemen he asks actually has pretty strong reaction and takes off outside, and Ron of course chases him down and kind of attacks him, takes pictures of him.
Over a
Um,
bush that
yeah,
kept them both, that held them both while they were. That's
right.
crazy.
Ron really, I mean, he felt strongly about this for some reason. That this guy, I mean, watching this, I don't know what you felt like. To me, it was unclear whether that guy knew Ron or he was just scared of the social interaction. Like,
Oh,
we
because
don't
he's only a
know
level
that.
fiver. He wasn't
Yeah,
ready
he's a
for
level
just.
fiver,
Yeah,
and
he
some
got
guys in his
uncomfortable and
face
ran.
like, yeah, do you know Maggie? Yes. Do you know this website? He doesn't want to have. He's trying to
Just
learn how to
snap.
have conversations,
Yeah, yeah.
and Ron
It's funny. I
takes
kind
off
of took
after him.
level 5 to be almost. That feels kind of high. I mean, how many levels can there be? Like, is it if it's 5 of
I
100?
think
Then
it's more
we're
like a DEF
low.
CON sort of situation. Like 5 is as low as the
Oh,
worst it gets. But once you
sure.
life of the party level
Remedial.
1, yeah, I
Sure.
mean Oliver might be a level 2 guy, perhaps.
That would
Like
make sense. Then
he's
yeah, he could
yeah,
just been. He could have just been. I don't
and
know.
I don't know
He
how low it
seemed.
goes.
Yeah. He seemed. My take, or not take, my reaction to what happened. I felt that he was running from Ron specifically, not
Okay,
just running from the interaction. Maybe well, I mean that's what Ron clearly believes. So maybe I just
so you support Ron's actions of pinning him down
yes, anything
and taking
to get
pictures. Yeah,
yeah, anything to
okay,
get where Ron believes, and Ron's never been wrong.
sure,
So
right,
he's kind of like our perfect protagonist. But no,
yeah,
somewhere in between.
okay. Like you believe that this guy recognized Ron,
I do.
and so Ron is right to be like, hey, I need some information from you. Why do you know me? So on and
And
so
in a
forth. Okay.
way, when they were watching him beat the guy up, in a way that was the life of that party. So
Yeah.
maybe this
Oh,
was
I
like
mean,
a trained
definitely. Like
plant.
the other level 5ers are watching in horror,
Yeah.
out the window at this
I hope
event.
they don't
So
take the wrong message. Like this is how you become the life of the party.
right, yeah, this is what you need to get attention. But so yeah, he has these pictures, and that's what he gets from that interaction. But okay, next day at work, there's some more Ron and Amanda HR hubbub. They're having to have a forced interaction that is observed by the HR folk, and it's of course weird. But the one HR lady, I don't know the HR lady or people's names. I should by now, but the one HR lady seems like this is enough. She thinks that's all there is to see. This looks fine. There's nothing going on here. But the other HR guy insists that he needs to stay. He needs to make sure this is a safe working environment. So he's wanting to drag this on, basically.
A safe working environment, as we will learn, not just for Ron. He safe working environment for him to be at.
Right. Yeah.
Live
yeah.
at.
And he loves this place. And so yeah, later Ron calls Mike and he tells him about the guy he recognized and attacked and took pictures of. I think he sends him the pictures. Mike can't see anything from those, of course. And then Brenda calls Ron in to talk to Jeff, and Jeff finally relays some of the doubts he's having about the design of this place. He just had a trip to Sedona, and he wants a whole redesign on this thing. and he's showing Ron all the pictures from the weekend, showing him all the inspiration, and so Ron has to now relay that message to his team, and he doesn't quite know what the message is, but he just knows that we're taking a step back here.
You saying message, I think, is kind of generous to our CEO friend here. It was, I mean, even a vibe would be generous. It was a gray blob of ideas.
Breakdown.
I don't know.
Right. Some sort of mental breakdown and doubts, of course.
Yeah, midlife or mid-project crisis, I guess.
Yeah.
In your previous experience as an engineer, I know you weren't as much like on the front-facing kind of design, like this exact function, but had this ever? This feels like also a very pointed critique of the, the idea man executive who may or may not have good ideas and intuitions, but either way is bad at relaying them and expects them a ton. In your engineering career, did that ever kind of happen to you?
There's certainly a storied relationship between the engineers and the architect, or the engineers and like the landscape architect or landscape design, where one has the ideas and one says no, more or less. So I definitely at least relate to what you're saying, the ideas person and the one who maybe has to like actually make the ideas happen. And weirdly enough, I usually relate more to the ideas person than I do the role I was in, where it's like, no, that's too cool. That's too whatever. that's not economically feasible. So yeah, no, that definitely happens all the time, I would say, on projects. And I probably a lot more on projects like this, where there's not some cookie cutter mall that they're trying to make. They're trying to blend it into the environment. And they're trying to do something cool here. And so I'm sure that is not too far off from reality, I don't think. And that is where we find the HR guy is in fact cozied up in his office reading a book while Ron's going home. So we know why he's trying to make it a nice working environment. So maybe he's got good intentions overall. Later that night, Richard is a new guy that's in their house. He kind of spooks Ron because he's in the kitchen and Ron sees the back of his head and he thinks it's the dent guy. And so Ron has a bit of a fight or flight, but turns out it's just one of Seth's friends that they're.
I think it's Tara's friend that met Seth. That's right. Basically,
Tara's friend that's knows Seth, and they're playing some sort of role playing game.
Did you think it was weird that Ron was getting home at 1 a.m.? Which, like, first of all, HR guy is still awake at 12:30, I guess. When he was
a lot of people up at 1 a.m.
Yeah, a lot of people up at 1 a.m. and the whole family. I guess we didn't see they don't live. The daughter doesn't live with them, so that's moot.
Yeah,
both Seth and Barb are awake at 1 a.m. And I mean,
that seems late.
Maybe I'm just lucky, but I have never stayed at work till 12:30.
No, I mean, and. No, that definitely jumped out to me too. Why is everyone awake at 1 and why are things still happening?
It could have just been like 8
just
p.m.
getting home.
And the point could have all been the same, I feel like.
You're like, oh, wow, you're home late. Have you eaten yet? Seth's playing a game. But one, one is late. But so I think a reveal is that Seth plays basketball. I think, was that news to you?
It was news. He was still kind of the drinking guy in my head.
Yeah, but so Ron is concerned that he needs to get some sleep because he's been sluggish on the court. So that's news to me. And then they actually show a little bit of a tease that someone broke onto the Canton Mall property, so that's a new storyline. People are messing around on the plot of land.
But then not to jump back. But Richard character, Tara's Seth, he is, I think, at currently the highest for me, like, laugh to screen time ratio of any character maybe I've ever seen, because he's been on screen for like 20 seconds. And
He has some other comments later too that are
so
really good.
And
Yeah.
between Barb saying that Richard is going to give the ZD another go, like she's like making him a plate because he's going to give the ZD another go. And then
didn't agree with him the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the like coming right to you, Big R, or
Yeah.
dude, that was just
it
was the most bizarre. We've gotten like nothing from Seth. I mean, and that's part of it. Seems a part of his character is like he's just a dude that drinks a beer or four and appreciates.
I think prior to that, I was led to believe that he was like pretty cool, suave kid.
Sure.
And then so that was almost a jump scare. Like, oh, he's okay. He's pulling out this voice. He's playing this game with some older guy.
And they've got like a radio system that they're doing. And then when he drops and he drinks the Starry can, which I felt that was funny. And then after Seth falls and puts and then
he put a mark on the door.
Put the mark on the door. Right? Yeah. Richard's scenes,
a little mark on the door.
That's right. Richard's scenes are they've been crushing it, and I needed to just take a moment to appreciate our guy.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Because even he comes back later with, I think, some other things that stood out to me, like, oh, he's got some good dialogue. Okay, so they jump back the next day, and there's some design consultants there to talk about some of the options on how they can bring Jeff's vision to life, perhaps. And they talk about it. Even Ron kind of brings some things to the surface on, I wasn't even sure what the CBGB awning, I wasn't sure what he was talking about there.
I took a look. It is a no, it is a music club in New York City that I think was it seems to be a home for punk, indie, kind of up and coming rock bands, and a lot of famous countercultural bands got their starts playing at CBGB.
Interesting. Okay. So
he's like, hey, we'll be kind of punk. We'll be kind of, I think, I'm looking at the awning now. It's just, the awning is nothing special. I think it's just some cultural,
right.
There's like
a vibe that maybe Jeff could relate to.
Sure.
But he doesn't like it. He kind of shrugs it off. He basically is like, listen, we'll deal with the vision. You just keep us under budget, big guy. Really big bros him there. And I seemed to get to Ron. It would get to me too if someone talked to me like that. And there's kind of some compilations of things that were making Ron mad from the past episodes. So like there's some rage in kind of building up from that. Yeah. Also flashes to Seth. He's drinking a beer and he's looking at a picture of him and his dad. And, maybe he's feeling like some kind of way. Maybe he feels like he's losing his dad, or maybe he's thinking, my dad was right. Like, there's a picture of him playing basketball. He's in his feels or something, drinking a beer. And then we move on to a scene where all kinds of stuff happens. So first, Ron is taking a closer look at those pictures he took of the fella, and the tattoo on his wrist seems to catch his eye. But as has some sort of epiphany, he gets a call from someone who's working on the construction site who has gotten wind of these design changes and wonders if they need to stop. Ron encourages them, no, keep going. Everything that we're changing is on the surface. While he's on the call and trying to put out that fire, so some employee comes in and is claiming she's got a lot of workplace anxiety and also some sort of residual medical injury where she's magnetic now, and she's having a little bit of an episode.
In her.
Yeah, she's having a little bit of an episode there, which that would certainly be something.
And why
to
did she
freak
come
out about.
to Ron? I don't.
I didn't recognize this person. Don't remember her having any dialogue first, but I guess she's on the team and just maybe he was the only person there at the office.
She's just got to voice some.
I got to talk to someone about this. But
which fair. Ron has clearly fostered a good listening relationship, I guess, with people.
Yeah, which speaks well of him.
Yeah.
So she is, of course, freaking out. I would be too. and Mike is calling incessantly. And so the show's very good at stirring up chaos. Like, this made me anxious having
Yeah.
these three things going on. Everything's vibrating, multiple people talking. But so that's going on, and she sits down, and basically he answers Mike and decides that he's going to tend to that first, even though she is very obviously attracting that metal on his desk. And so I guess we'll see what happens there.
That was a bizarre one.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. There's a lot of things in this show that it is maybe not obvious, but yeah, a little obvious what is being satirized. And it's like a thing in real life that's being made absurd by the dialogue or the situation or just how people react. Yep. This is not one of those things.
Right.
This is like a off the wall. How does someone come up with this? Like,
yeah,
it's really a bizarre one, but
right. They definitely took it to the extreme and made it completely surreal by, okay, I guess she's actually magnetic. It could have probably played the part without actually playing, fully into it and showing that, but it was a choice. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Ron runs out. He has to meet with Mike right now. I got someone you want to see, and it's the insect fellow who has information about the bug, and he found out that it is from Eastern Europe, which would line back up with the other theory of the, was it Hungary or Bulgaria? I can't even remember.
Yeah, Hungary.
So Hungary, that this bug came in with the chairs from Hungary, and so this bug is not native to the U.S., but they've also found it in Delaware City, Ohio. So there's some working relationships between Delaware City, Ohio, apparently. So Ron feels the need to go check it out, Delaware City. Maybe there's something there. He's going to go on the weekend. It's Seth's birthday, so he's got to figure out how to balance those two things. And but Mike really wants to come to the birthday, and we'll see later that he's not going to be able to take no for an answer. So yeah, next day at work, Douglas is telling Ron, hey, the morale here is low. Let me come dressed up as a chicken. Don't know why he wants to do that, but that's obviously going to fix it. And I think Ron shuts that idea down, and he goes back to his desk, and he starts looking up Delaware City, Ohio, Maggie S. He's looking up Maggie S. in the Delaware City, Ohio, finds nothing. And that's he kind of leaves that be for now. And then later, Brenda comes in and tells Ron that, hey, listen, you got to walk Jeff off the ledge. He's kind of gone too far with this whole thing. This is, we need you to be the voice of reason here. So that's now on Ron's plate. However, okay, then a funny thing happens with the HR guy where he and his parents walk in, and he's showing his parents around his workplace, which I remember the first time I watched that, just thinking about that for so long, like thinking back to my past jobs of like trying to compare, all right, this guy's around this age. What if that guy brought his parents to work? Like, that would be so weird. Yeah. But also I was thinking, I'm pretty sure at my first job, I brought my, not during the workday, but I think at one point, like maybe we went in after hours, checked out my desk, whatever.
Just to see it.
Because they wanted to see it. And so somewhere in between those two is an age that, so what do you think that age is? When is it are you too old to show your parents your workplace?
It might be, it might be whatever age you are, where people would start assuming that you have a family below you, like that you have kids, whether you do or don't. But yeah, someone's going to see you and be like, a natural question would be, do you have kids? How old are your kids? Whereas like if you're, you're still out of college or like just out of college, that's, people are going to be like, where'd you go to school? That's like kind of the more natural. Yeah. Like maybe it's wherever that spectrum is, and it's probably different for each person and how they carry themselves and look.
Definitely. Like I think that's 35? A good point.
I don't know.
Yeah. Somewhere where the thought would be, if someone's visiting, it should be your kids, not your parents. Like
exactly. Yeah.
whatever that age is. Okay, I think that's probably a good answer. But yeah, it was a funny thought because I feel like I'm around that right now. Like I don't know if I would. It would feel weird if I brought my parents to visit my workplace, but
it also probably depends on the workplace. Like I have a friend who works in the animation industry, and I they historically have very cool workplaces, and very like not tourist attractions, but it's like way cooler to bring someone there than like I work in an office building in the middle of Denver.
Yeah, or you work in a whatever, you're an HR guy at a a third party HR guy interim.
Right. Yeah,
that
whatever
certainly
he is.
Whatever he is, that's not in the
doesn't
good
play
side. So that's a funny thought. Okay, so then Ron is using he's stressed, so he's using his eye thing again. And it kind of helps him have an epiphany of sorts. So he takes the eye thing off, and he looks at the Delaware City website, and he recognizes the color pattern, and it's the same one that he recognized in the tattoo, I guess. And so he has a new leading theory, and we're not sure what it is yet, but he definitely has some sort of epiphany. As he's having that epiphany, he gets an ominous phone call with a deep voice, basically threatening him, or we're not sure who it is.
To him.
Yeah, they're ready to do something to him. So maybe that means he's onto something. Not sure yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's the weekend, and we're at Seth's party, and we have a really quick funny scene with like Tara and Richard, where they're saying crazy things. Tara is talking about how, like, sorry if I'm gassy or if you hear my rumbling stomach, I'm doing a gut reset. And she's talking about her gut reset, and then Richard's like, hey, whenever you're done with this story, I actually have a more interesting one, I can tell. That's so good.
I am going to be using that in real life, and it's just not gonna hit because everyone's gonna be like, this guy's just a jerk, but that will not stop me from using it.
No, dude, say it to me. Like, please, I give you full, if I'm saying something, like, use that line and I'll know. Like, hey.
The only issue is like you do have to follow it up with the story. Like, and I'm confident in our guy Richard, but I'm not.
You better have something.
Yeah, you gotta have something.
You better have something. Okay, so here is where we learn of Ron's new theory. And it's that whoever is making the red ball. Oh, so he traces those colors to the red ball marketing global website. So he's seeing a link
to the city council of Delaware, Ohio, which was deeply. I was confused if he was going to Delaware or if he was in Ohio. That did not help.
That was. I had to look it up, but finally, when he made it to Delaware City, Ohio, I was like, okay, we are in Ohio.
Sure.
But yeah, so he's seeing a link between the guy he found at the party group, the Delaware City website, and the Red Ball website. Yeah. There's all the same colors, all the same patterns. His theory is that someone who is at that party, it's a lot of computer engineering folk. Maybe they're the ones who design these websites. Maybe they're in on it.
Sure.
That's the new leading theory. He tells, what's his daughter's name again?
I've also forgot. I just remember Tara.
It's Natalie.
Natalie, nice.
Natalie. So he tells Natalie, and she actually has a good idea. The same one he had. He needs to go to Delaware City, and she lets him know that there is a fair there. There's a 50s cop hop there, and of course that means that the town hall is going to be open. And he can go searching through the files to see if there's some sort of contract there about the computer guy.
And this exact plot point reminded me, well, it's not even reminded me, it's almost directly the same as a plot point from, you ever seen National Treasure 2?
I have.
Okay, do you remember when he needs to get to the president, and his ex-wife is dating a guy who works at the White House, and there's like the Easter ball and that's like what they decide.
Yes, yeah. There's just happens to be
an Easter ball that like the security is going to be loose, but there'll be a ton of they can like get there, and he's famous now from his first, so he gets an invite, and that's kind of how they get
really
into the Oval Office. Yeah, that's how he finds
search the desk.
Yeah, search the desk, and there's a whole thing. I don't think it's exactly when he kidnaps the president, but it just
it is when they somehow get into the White House. Oh, just because there's this random nothing event. Yeah. Oh, that's a really good parallel.
I don't know why it pulled that out of my brain, but she is like, oh, and you can get in on this party, and I was like, okay, so National Treasure 2.
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually perfect. And okay, another plot point that I neglected was Jeff invites himself to Seth's party because he wants to talk shop about this whole redesign. So Jeff shows up. He goes through all the classic insulting his house, insulting his neighborhood, insults the party. And so as he's leaving, Jeff's like, "Hey, this wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. So let's regroup tomorrow on Sunday and meet up at the site and try and get some inspiration for this thing." So that is obviously throwing a wrench in Ron's plan to go to Delaware City, but as what do what the boss says, I guess.
Yeah. And we know he's no stranger to balancing his work requirements with his,
of course not,
deep personal mission. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know he's going to follow through on that. But another important thing is Seth asks Ron to do the Pee-wee dance, which maybe they have some sort of untold history of. But Ron's too stressed out. He denies him, and Seth is seen going for another drink or two or three. Starts actually drinking heavily. Yeah, right. And it's I'm unsure whether this is the first time he has had so many drinks, or maybe it was the case the whole time, and they just kind of led us to believe it was.
Maybe it was a mixing of the beer and liquor. Yeah, it's a comment.
Could be. Yep, could be. So, regardless, that leads to Seth puking during the cake presentation.
Bummer.
Probably ruins the party. Who knows?
Yeah.
And Barb, rightfully so, gets angry with Ron because he didn't actually handle Seth's drinking. He just kind of said he would.
Yeah.
So that's how the party wraps up. Happy birthday, Seth. Then the next day, hope it was awesome, Seth. So Sunday, they're meeting up at the Canton site, and they also flash to the trespasser again the night before. Someone is setting up to do something bad, probably.
Yeah.
And then they show that Jeff. So the whole team's gathered there on a Sunday. I don't know how you wrangle the whole crew the night before on a weekend, but
they're all very committed to this project. I mean, it seemed like they were all there late. They were down to do their best to hash out whatever Jeff's thoughts were.
Speaking of, have you ever had to work a weekend for your job?
I have never had to.
Okay.
It's a little bit like
you did it because to not have to I don't know, work extra hard
to make things easier, and because it was like kind of a good thing to do for the team. But it has been rare. I have never had like hey, be at this place or on this call at this time on Saturday or Sunday.
It was like, hey, you've got this stuff on your plate. Yeah, might leak into the weekend. Yeah, I remember,
and it would take something off a team member's plate or something. Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 times only in my whole career, which isn't that long. But similar thing where it was like, hey, by Monday we just got this job, and you're young and like don't have a ton of responsibilities, so maybe if you would just work on this over the weekend, that would help everyone out a lot. And so
the only really prohibitive working hours that I have actually had to do have been early, like 5 a.m. kind of stuff, because global teams, different time zones, like in Europe and stuff. That's happened much more frequently than I expected it to when I started my job. Like I thought I'd just be working with US folks, but as the company's kind of grown, we've had a lot more global stuff, and it just makes it harder time zones. So
anyway, leaked into the earlier hours, but never had to show up on site.
Never had to show up on site.
on a
On a hot
Sunday
day.
to, yeah, Jeff wants them to explore the space, question everything, no matter how much it uproots what they've done. So the whole team, they're walking around and they hear something going on, and it's basically we find out who these trespassers are, and it's just a harmless group of RC guys filming some sort of video. A little, yeah. So that's all it is. Nothing crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
but Ron wants them off to get off the site. He kind of has a little bit of a running in, a run up with them, a scuffle, and they call him a loser, which I think really sets him off. For whatever reason, they said they called him a loser, and that's really when he starts escalating things.
Yeah.
He kind of charges them. Jeff approaches him from behind, and Ron even kind of snaps at him and shoves him,
Yeah.
which leads him to storming off the site and going away. But we find out soon he's just going to Delaware City. So I don't know if it was just, it was
He's just channeling
perfect
the anger,
timing.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe channeling the anger. And I don't know if he was looking for an excuse to get off the site, and was his choice. But
it's a good thought.
It led to him being able to leave and to do what he actually wanted to do with his Sunday. So yeah, but as he's walking off, he gets a call from the same ominous, deep voice that they're ready to come for him, and Ron welcomes it. He says, "All right, come and get me."
Yep.
But anyways, Ron makes his way to the 50s cop hop, which incredible. How do you think of that? Like only the mind of Tim and his crew can come up with some random fair idea. But so yeah, he makes it there. His plan goes perfectly. He sneaks right in the front door. He gets to snoop around, finds the file closet. But then he's walked in on, and he's kind of lying his way out of it until he decides just to throw the papers and cause chaos and cause another insane chase scene.
What is the costume the guy's wearing? Like a bunny costume or a?
Yeah, it's like almost like an Elvis, or am I thinking of a different guy?
No. That's right. It's just
like an Elvis sort of interesting.
All into the hop part of.
Yeah, he's on the hop. But yeah, so that guy's running after him. They're running through the city hall. Ron's shutting doors, locking doors behind him, and then he finds himself in a massive ballroom full of Tekka chairs.
Yep.
And so that's what we're left with. Another cliffhanger. We're not sure what to think of this, but the chairs are there for a reason. So we're going to find out. But yeah. And what'd you learn from the episode? Any updated theories? What are your reactions, comments?
The bug thing feels random. That I kind of discarded that a little bit in my head. I kind of also discarded the hungry thing in my head because of something that had happened in episode 4.
It felt like they discounted that, or debunked it.
But but then it does. But having the chairs at the city council or city hall, whatever, does bring me back a little bit to like maybe this is just some like money laundering or drug smuggling, some like white collar thing where there's this shell company that they've created to get the chairs for some nefarious-ish reason. I don't in episode 1 it was about like these chairs could hurt people, which it seems, I don't know what that would be, but if the chairs were meant to hurt people, that's like more nefarious. This feels more like it's just like a white collar, I don't know, something or other. Not that doesn't hurt people directly, but it's not the same, it's the exact same. So it's not fully baked yet, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we definitely get spoon-fed a new sort of line of thinking. Okay, now there's another city involved, and they're either purchasing or housing a bunch of these chairs.
And honestly, it's good because these office chairs are far too expensive for their own good. And you can get offices to buy a bunch of them. So
yeah,
they're kind of
right. I mean,
like they have a corner on the market and they can keep their costs high. So
honestly, if they were able to just buy these chairs in bulk and then resell them like that, good
yeah,
for them. That's probably a
seriously,
viable business.
maybe
But
we should.
yeah, right. Maybe we'll cut that part and do it for ourselves. But, so that is episode 6. We're moving right along, nearing the end of the season. More questions, not a lot of answers, but that's how these types of things go.
Yeah,
and we're along for the ride.
And we're loving it. Thanks for the time,
Yeah.
Clark. This is always the best.
Yep, it was a blast, and we'll be back with episode 7, perhaps with some guests. Stay tuned.
Lord willing. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
It should be fun.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.